Hey y'all, it's been quite a bit, but I'm back. I need to take a break. I have a lot going on. Oh, also, if you don't see my eyebrows, because I did it on purpose. New look, you know what I'm saying? Trying to figure some stuff out, trying to period. But anyway, I needed to take a much needed break. It was a lot. You could skip over this if y'all want to, but if some of y'all don't know me by now, I've been putting in a lot of work starting this year since of like losing my Twitter account, and because I lost my Twitter account, I decided to invest a lot of time into creating more longevity in my work. Because I was creating a lot more longevity into my work, I was doing a lot of overworking. So this was my time for me to kind of slow down. I took a couple of weeks to kind of just, work on other things that are very important, anything that's out of necessity. But I'm back. We're back to consistent videos. There was also some other stuff I needed to do that was very important, but I'm back stable. And today we're going to be talking about for energy. Like I said, we're going into series. Every week is going to be a new video. We're going to start with for energy. Yes, I still have the notepad because somebody liked it and it made me happy because I didn't feel like I had to buy stuff and materials and extra materials. I don't necessarily have the funds to get anything extra right now, and I just don't need nobody yelling at me. Again, I have an article that will cover the for energy in another post, so you won't be missing out very much. I'll try to kind of maintain what I say in the video to put in the article as well, if that's something that you would rather prefer. But still subscribe. I'm still going to be posting a lot of videos, a lot more other stuff that's coming that won't require me writing or anything like that. But without further ado, let's get started. By the way, by the time y'all get this video, the article will already be posted again. I'll put everything in the description box so y'all can get all the information. Also, become a patron because I do cover transits and stuff. I do numbers for the week, trying to calculate energy. If there's any requests that y'all want me to make a talk about on my Patreon as well, I will be talking more about numbers. I'm going to make a post talking about what numbers people want me to explore or get more into. So if y'all can suggest me anything, it'll be Patreon exclusive. Just let me know. But anyway, back to the video. The notebook is officially back. Now, let's get into it. We're here. So, let's get into for energy. Usually, I notice that I write or I talk about it before I get started, but let's just do this now, right? So 4 is represented by Saturn and Aquarius energy. Now, a lot of the common questions I get is, Day, why don't you, why is it Saturn and Aquarius? Well, I use traditional forms of astrology. I see Uranus a little bit differently than everybody else does. If y'all want to, let me know in the comments if you want me to explain why. I'm probably going to do it anyway, so it don't matter. Just explain how I see outer planets, because with Uranus, I actually see Uranus as a separate entity that brings on like chaos, but not because of the Aquarian influence, if that makes sense. But I think of it as its own separate body. But yeah, so 4 is Saturn and Aquarius energy. It can be Uranian energy. If some of y'all modern astrologers want to follow that, that's completely okay. There's nothing wrong with that. So 4 is Saturn. So when we're talking about Saturn in terms of Aquarius energy, what I want you to kind of think about is, and it's kind of hard for people to conceptualize, so I'll try to voice this as best as I can. So usually when we see Saturn energy, we kind of see it as stability, right? Well, you got to remember that Aquarius is a fixed sign, so Saturn can take on this energy very well as well. However, Aquarius energy still seeks change. However, they won't do anything that's outside the box that does not make sense. So if it don't make sense, they not going, you know what I'm saying? Aquarius energy is not really going to go for it. So what I say is reconstructing boundaries. And then I would say rethinking structure. And then I would say revolution. I hope I spelled that right. I'm not a good speller. I'm not going to hold you. Revolutionizing, I would say spaces. Like territory. Basic principles. So I'll give you an example. So usually what we see from Jupiter energy is Jupiter with Sag energy is more so I'm exploring the terrain, right? Whereas Pisces Jupiter energy is like I'm going to come to a spiritual understanding to my explorations, figuring out the quote unquote unknown. So I would say Capricorn energy is more of the reality, whereas Aquarian energy thinks more of the idealist form. Or thinks in more an idealist form because of that air energy. So we're thinking about reconstructing boundaries and stuff like that because boundaries are always going to constantly change. So think of it even as Capricorn Saturn energy as being the crops, right? So let's say Capricorn energy from Saturn is like crops. And then Aquarius energy is the variety of crops. It's like this kind of crops covers the basics, like you plant things, so like planting things, shit like that. Then you have the varieties of crops, so you could plant and grow anything you want to, from the basics, germinating. I hope I'm making sense when I'm talking. So it's like corn, peaches. I mean, I know peaches are peach trees, but I'm going to consider it a crop for now, okay? So this is basically what I'm talking about. So when we're thinking about for energy, think of these structures. We're going to get into the 8 energy a couple weeks from now, but I want y'all to kind of get this ingrained in your mind of how stuff works, because 4 isn't necessarily about boxing things in, although Saturn energy, when it comes to Aquarian energy, has a hard time with I would say even being creative. So sometimes 4 energy has a problem with thinking outside of their own thoughts. That makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, y'all want to do this? Well, there's another path. But if it's, again, with Aquarian energy, if it doesn't make sense, they're not going to pursue it. That's just a covering of 4 energy. I don't want to spend too much time. So when we're thinking of 2, we get 4, right? Because we get 2 plus 2, we get 4. 2 we already covered is lunar energy, right? It's because 2 is lunar, and then Cancer energy. I know I'm writing a little bit sloppy. Let me slow down. 2 is lunar and Cancer energy. And then we have 4, which is Aquarius energy. And then we get Saturn energy. We're dealing with the duality of Saturn and the moon. Now, regardless, these two are always going to be natural opposites because of Capricorn, even the Capricorn and Aquarius axis. When it comes to Aquarius energy is opposite in the zodiac is Leo, but that's because the moon and the sun are kind of one in the same when we're technically looking at it, because Saturn is always going to be opposing the 2 luminaries, if that makes sense. So we're just going to correlate it back to Saturn, because like I said, the Saturn and the moon, you'll even notice with nakshatras that they're also in opposite territories, and they're opposites for a reason. And when I say nakshatras, I mean nakshatra rulerships and da-da-da-da-da-da. So getting back into this, we have you know, like I said, what is Saturn? We've already listed the components of Saturn. When we talked about the moon, we talked about the moon being of connections, this and that, and this and that. So if you see 22 a lot, it's kind of like this. Where are you establishing boundaries with others? That's an important thing to have. So it's, where are you establishing boundaries with others? Because again, there's about reconstructing boundaries, rethinking structure, revolutionizing spaces, territory, and basic principles. So when it comes down to others, which is that 2 energy, that Cancer energy, are you establishing boundaries with other people? Has it been a thing where you've been around these certain people in your life and you're kind of like, I'm changing, I'm growing, I'm rethinking my routines. Are people matching these routines? If you see any brown under my nose, it's because of makeup, sorry. Where am I creating these boundaries? Are these people changing for the better? Do I need to go and find new people in my life? Or not even trying to be desperate to find new people in your life, but are these people still serving a purpose in my life? It doesn't have to be a big purpose, but are they taking up space and taking up time that isn't resonating with you anymore? Sometimes it is okay to let people go so they can find their people and you find yours. Sometimes you got to be like, I know I had to do with somebody, hey, and it still breaks my heart to this day. I say, hey, I can't be the friend that you want me to be. It's not working anymore. I care about this person to this day. I don't speak to them because I've grown into a place and they were going into places, and it's like trying to force a connection of a friendship just doesn't work like that anymore. Sometimes you have to be mature about it and understand that some things are just not meant to keep going. And it's not that you hate this person, doesn't always have to create hatred. It's maturity and understanding that you are changing, you are developing, you're growing, and you want that person and yourself to support your individual energies in different spaces. So now this leads me to 444 energy. Now I know you see this 444 energy a lot, especially with Beyonce and Jay-Z. I'll be covering this in the article to get more in depth, but this is about more so y'all. We'll be kind of pulling from those examples, but we're doing stuff to help y'all out. So like I said, 4 energy is Saturn. So I'm gonna put Saturns up here. Let me put some moons up here too. So 4 plus 4 plus 4 is 12, right? And then 1 plus 2 is 3. So we're running into Jupiter energy. Now, this 3 Jupiter energy, remember, if you go back in my videos, oh shit, I wrote Saturn. This is Jupiter energy, so this is Jupiter, and then we're getting this Sag energy right here, right? So what does this mean? We're running into the principle of Saturn, and then we're running into this Jupiter energy that comes from Sag energy, right? What does this mean? Well, this is actually kind of why. So it's, aside from Jay-Z and Beyonce having like 4 in the birthday, that is their address and stuff, this is about the expansion to new territory. This can also be higher education. And etc. Oh, also with this 2-2 energy, I'm probably going to cover it more in an article, but this is like the main point I've got out, just impromptu. But yeah, expansion of new territory for 444, higher education, as well as seeking, or I wouldn't even say seeking. This can also be an improvement when it comes to confidence and knowledge. So, what I want to establish about this, right? Expansion into new territory. Remember I said boundaries, rethinking structures. This can be, again, expansion is the Jupiter energy. The new territory is Saturn energy. So what we're talking about is expansion into new territory. This can be travel. This can be learning new things in certain environments, a change of scenery, okay? Higher education. The reason why I say higher education is because Jupiter principle, also Saturn, kind of is more of the seriousness that comes from this higher education. You're taking life more seriously. So let me add that. Taking life more seriously. And then I'll even add at the bottom right here, maturity. So, when you have expansion into territory and then higher education, taking life more seriously, and maturity, this is because in order for you to handle this Jupiter and Saturn, like I said, are not enemies. They're one helps the other not get too out of control, and the other one helps them not be too stagnant. It takes maturity to explore more options and keeping your foundations that you know what works for you help. It's kind of like this. It's kind of like you moving somewhere and, like, let's say you move to a place where people watch a lot of movies and you like to read books. And all the people that are around you are kind of like, oh, let's check out this movie. And you're open to it. But then you become a movie addict and your goal has been to read as many books as possible. It's kind of like, can you handle that? Or it's like, you know, you're trying to not eat any more junk food or whatever the case may be. And your friends are like, oh, well, I like ice cream. You want to go hang out. It's like, can you resist temptation? So, like, let me add that too. Resisting temptation. So can you resist temptation? Improvement when it comes to confidence and knowledge is kind of like Saturn can have a hard time with being tough on oneself because of thinking that they're outcasted, especially because of this Aquarian energy is kind of like outcasty. So it's kind of like when you're having Jupiter come upon Saturn, you can lose your confidence. But this is a great opportunity for you to gain control over what it is you're doing. So the double folded thing is you can be not confident in yourself because everything seems to be overwhelming. So I'm gonna write in the back. Wait, what did I do last time? Was I writing in the back? Yeah, I don't like wasting paper, y'all. I'm gonna stick to that. I don't like wasting paper. I'm sorry. Y'all gonna have to learn to not be distracted. I try to do what I can to help y'all. I'll help y'all in other areas. I'll take suggestions in other areas, but I bought this notebook and I don't want to waste it. So this can be, you can be unconfident. And then I'm going to put 444 up here so y'all remember. So this is 444, unconfident in self. And you can also be overwhelmed. So being unconfident in self and then overwhelmed. This goes back to not being able to handle that Jupiter energy here that's afflicting Saturn. You have to learn that whatever you're given right now, you can learn to work with and even break it down into smaller bits. That's what Saturn is all about. You could take things day by day, okay? So let's write that down. So take things day by day. When you take things day by day, things become less overwhelming, and then you're kind of combating the overwhelming feeling that you would get from Jupiter. Just know that 444 is, at the end of the day, all about stability. So don't worry too much over it. Whatever you're getting that's new, just keep kind of I wouldn't say compartmentalize too much, but make sure you're just organized and just keeping up with how you can maintain things day by day. It's the daily maintenance. But yeah, that's it for 444. Now we're on to 4444. Again, but oops. Oh my gosh. I'm over here doing Jupiter and not Saturn, so whatever. Put the Saturns up here. These are Saturns. That's a Saturn too, if you look really hard. These are the Saturns right here. So 4 times 4, or 4 plus 4 plus 4, my bad. 4 plus 4 plus 4 is 16. Where we get that reduced to 7. We're actually running into the 7 way early. So I'm glad what I talked about was talked about. You know what I'm saying? And again, let me write this down because people be kind of trying me with the, how did you get that? 1 plus 6 is 7, okay? So, the 7, now that we're talking about it, is 7 is Pisces energy. Pisces Jupiter energy, okay? So, since it's Pisces Jupiter energy, we're running into something very similar. And it kind of proves my point that Jupiter and Saturn are allies. One helps the other. They balance each other out like this. It's like the hand to the pen. The pen does the writing, the hand does the control. Everything is connected. So let's even make sure, let's make that a thing. So everything is connected. What else? You have, ooh, shit, that was okay, the clarity you need. You have the clarity you need. Everything is connected. And then let's see. So when we're dealing with Saturn, we got this and this. What else can I think of when it comes to this? Everything is possible, or anything, almost anything. I like to be specific. Anything is possible when it comes to your aspirations. So, when I say almost anything, it's not like a pessimistic thing. What I mean by this is because when I say almost anything is possible, this Saturn here is like still be realistic. Realistic is not pessimistic, okay? So let's write that down, okay? Realistic. That's not synonymous. The reason why realistic and pessimistic is not synonymous is because pessimist is shutting something down even when it does make sense. That doesn't make any fucking sense. You sound fucking dumb. Don't do that shit, okay? Almost anything is possible, okay? It's not like, oh, I'm going to open a candy shop tomorrow. It's going to be successful. That's unrealistic, okay? You need a plan. Remember when we talk about Saturn? It's reconstructing, redoing a plan. It's possible. You actually gained all the clues that you need for a situation, but you have to sit down and think about it. It's not always just gonna come to you in words. Like, imagine giving an instruction manual on what to do with life. Life wouldn't even be fun no more, low-key. This is coming, I guess, me being a sidereal Aquarius myself. It's not even gonna be fun no more. You're gonna be bored, like, oh, that was it. It's gonna feel meaningless. You're here to figure things out, okay? So when everything is connected, what I mean by everything is connected is you could get from point A to point B and go from A to Z when you make the right, when you actually understand that everything is connected. It's kind of like you could hitch a ride from here to there when you know where you need to go or how you want to go about it. When you make sense of how you want to go about things, You can go from here to here to here to here to here easily. It's not that hard. You just think that you lack all these materials and all these resources when everything you have right now, you being in existence, is enough for you to deserve what you need. You just have to figure out what components can actually bring you to the point B and so on. But no, it's what you already have, okay? It's not that hard. You already have the clarity that you need. Saturn helps make sense of the unknown when it comes to Pisces energy. So when you have that clarity that you need, you don't really have to worry about, you don't really have to worry about trying too hard to figure things out. Sometimes it's probably going to be something that's blatant that you kind of didn't want to admit to yourself, but the faster you actually admit the situation, the more better off you're going to be when it comes to getting to point B, C, E, F, G, wherever you at, okay? So that's really what the bottom line is. And when we're even talking about 444 energy, right here, this is the 3. If you want to see this, I already have a video for that if you already watched it. And when we're talking about this, it's expansion in new territory. Can you handle what you're being given? Because when you actually cover the basics of this Jupiter and Saturn energy, it asks of you to think deeper. Remember what I said earlier about the Jupiter and Sag energy and Pisces Pisces Jupiter energy and Sag Jupiter energy? Go back a couple minutes if you need to. But I already covered that Sag covers the reality. Pisces covers the unknown. This is the next level. It's kind of like your platform to get through any tough difficulties that you've been facing. It is possible. A lot of the time we think, like I said, the answers are supposed to be handed to us. No, once you get, if you've been seeing 444 and then you've been seeing 4444, that's because, okay, you've gotten the fundamentals of how life is supposed to be through learning from other people. Now, how do you apply this to self? What does it mean for you? How do you personalize this energy to get you to the next level? Because your path is not going to be like everybody else. If we've all followed what everybody else did, we all be successful, right? No, you have to follow your own formula. What makes you you? What makes you you at your core? Once you find what makes you you at your core, you're building a better and more solid foundation to push you forward, to bring you to better heights, to bring you towards better energy. You know what I'm saying? That's all you need to do. This is your next level. This is your amplification to be like, hey, I see you're doing the right things. You're not doing the right things. But I need you to find something that can catapult you into better heights instead of plateauing all the time. And that's because you have to find, what does this all mean to you? How can I best show off my energetic code and my energy to everybody else so they can also appreciate the art that I'm bringing? That's going to be what's important, okay? And as far as 4-4, we'll cover that in the 8. You already know how I've kind of been doing it. But that's what's going to be important to you. So let's have a little rundown. And I'll even probably go over 222 again. So with 2-2, what are you establishing with your boundaries with other? And even, how are you connecting with self? So how are you connecting with self? The reason why you're connecting with self is kind of important here too is because if you're around other people in some ways are going to be reflections of you and what you tolerate for yourself. If these people treat other people bad and you've allowed them to stay in your life knowing that they're doing wrong, it's because you treat yourself bad. You are used to abuse. Like low-key, you're low-key used to abuse. Like we all get caught up in these things where we feel like we could help and we could save people, but we know that we feel like we're beyond saving. And sometimes we don't want to be alone. So again, it's assessing your connections. Saturn can be kind of a self-infliction upon ourselves because we feel like we're hurt. So we're just going to wallow in pity and dismay and all this other stuff. It's not worth it. And that's when we're coming into the understanding portion, which is the 4-4-4 energy. Is kind of like, you know better, you do better. And then when we get into the 4-4-4-4 energy, it's kind of like, do you know yourself? Do you know yourself? as best as you think you do? Have you gotten into the core self without any other external influences? Who are you? What do you create because of who you are? What makes this is like your 4444. It's like your digital imprint. It's your digital imprint. What makes you you? Or not digital imprint. Did I mean digital? It could be because Aquarius is like a part of the digital world. So I would say maybe I'm kind of speaking for people who want to run an online business, want to be in social media. What is your digital imprint? But let's say this, not only digital imprint, this is your physical imprint too. So let's say physical, and I would say more spiritual imprint. Sorry, y'all. I would say this is your more spiritual / spirit imprint. And even like it's going as far as the fucking soul imprint. It's like, who are you at your core? Once you figure out who you are at your core and you explore that and kind of find how this clicks into the physical world, you're unstoppable. I mean, that's all I gotta say there. Like I said, if you want to read more, I'll be having an article. By the time you see this, already go to my site, Taisoleil.com. The article already gonna be there. But that's it. I hope y'all enjoy. That's it, y'all. I hope y'all enjoy. The 5-1 is coming next week. I'm gonna be making TikToks about 3 energy too. Again, be sure to follow me there. Follow me on Instagram too. And become a patron. I cover like tarot readings for the week, astrology transits. I'll be getting more into number work too. Again, just become a patron and let me know what suggestions are, because those are going to be exclusive, because I already cover a lot on here as is. But yeah, like I said, I've been doing a lot more Patreon work, so that's where I've really been found. But I will be posting a lot to YouTube because I actually like making videos. Not gonna take up too much more of your time. I know I've been a little chatty. I kind of miss y'all, and I just updating y'all on my life in between. So bye, y'all.